meteorologist Erica Page. It has been, without a doubt, a cold start to December. I mean, you go back even to Thanksgiving, and temperatures have been well below average pretty much each and every one of these days. In fact, we're talking temperatures about 5 to almost 10 degrees below average, which initially doesn't sound like a lot, but this time of the year, especially when your daytime highs are only getting upper 20s to lower 30s, it makes a big difference when it comes to ice coverage out on Lake Erie. And yes, we have already started to notice some of that ice building in some spots across the lake. Statistically, we don't see ice coverage peak until we get closer to, I would say, early to mid-February. That's the statistical average time where we really tend to see ice coverage ramp up, because you tend to be in patterns like what we're dealing with right now, the first part of December. But this black line that you see here, as it's starting to edge up a little bit more, that's where we're at currently compared to average. Average is that red line there. So we are well ahead of kind of where we should be in terms of ice coverage. I know when you look at the lake as a whole, less than 2% doesn't seem like a lot, but it's right along that shoreline that we're starting to see more of that ice accumulating in the western basin. And at times, even from our Edgewater Beach camera, we have seen a little bit of that ice starting to tick up. One thing I want to stress, as we're starting to build in a little bit of this ice early on in the season, it is best to just stay off of it, because you don't know the integrity of that ice and how thick it is as we kind of get into these early season ice events. Little fluctuations in your temperature can really impact the integrity of that. If it is 2 inches or less, keep off of it. Really, you want to keep off of it until you get to kind of that 4 to 5 inch thickness range, because then you don't have quite as many cracks that could be possible. But again, just for safety, we really recommend staying off of the ice. When you look at all of the other Great Lakes in general, you can kind of expect to see a very similar trend to what we're seeing here on Lake Erie. You'll notice most lakes hovering kind of right around that 1¼ inch percentage of ice coverage. Overall, the Great Lakes, just a little over 2% ice coverage, but this is pretty early for us to be seeing this much ice into the winter season. Yes, I recognize winter hasn't technically begun, but meteorologically we call it December 1st, because this is when you tend to get these colder bouts of air. And so certainly we are seeing the effects of that in terms of ice coverage already out on the lakes.